Today I'm heading into the Melbourne CBD, first time in 4 months because of COVID-19 lockdown. Just wondering what the hustle and bustle will be like given the lockdown. For those of you who don't know Melbourne, here's a map of my ride into town. Heading over the Princess Bridge into the city, and the first thing I notice is, where's the traffic? Where are the people? Where the heck am I? This is not the city I remember. The CBD is easy to navigate, laid out in a grid pattern. Melbourne is a great city. A bit of a European feel, a hipster food bar and cafe scene. I'll have a deconstructed salad and a large half-skinny espresso macchiato latte, extra shot and extra froth. Truth be known, we love our coffee and laneways, love sport. We've got the Australian Open tennis, the MCG and Aussie rules, the Boxing Day Test match, the Melbourne Cup, and that is a race that really stops the nation, the F1 Grand Prix and the MotoGP. Now there is at least one positive from lockdown. No traffic is good for climate change. Assuming climate change isn't some conspiracy, just like coronavirus and 5G, just kidding, but there are some people out there with some pretty wacky conspiracy theories. Even though there wasn't much traffic in town, you still run into idiot road users, like this dude in the van, daydreaming a bit. If I was driving a car, he wouldn't be cutting me off. Gave him the helmet head death stare to wake him up. Crazy times we're living in with COVID-19. Here in Melbourne and Victoria, we're leading a second spike of cases in Australia. The first spike was back in late March. As you can see here, Victoria is leading the second wave with a huge gap back to silver medalist New South Wales. This is not a league table you want to be winning. Over the last week, this second wave of cases has meant further lockdown restrictions, and masks are now compulsory in Melbourne. For me, I just continue to wear my helmet. And COVID is responsible for the great toilet paper panic of 2020. Embarrassingly, Melbourne and Australia made news headlines around the world for our "not a square to spare" panic buying of toilet paper. What a cracker. Continuing the COVID-related humour, here are some recent headlines from comedy group The Chaser. The links are in the description. I was going to talk about Melbourne's laneways, but don't think I will now. Thanks, Chaser. If you don't know The Chaser, you should check them out. Probably their best stunt ever was what they did at the Apex Summit back in 2007. Google The Chaser Apex Stunt, it's worth it. I'm up on Spring Street now. You can see a classic old heritage Melbourne tram, and Parliament House is to my right. Whenever I see a Parliament House, I'm reminded of the line off National Lampoon's European Vacation when the Griswolds are stuck on the roundabout in London. There's Big Ben, kids, Houses of Parliament. There's Big Ben, kids, Houses of Parliament. How Chevy Chase never got an Oscar still baffles me. The so-called Academy should hang their heads in shame. And here's some modern trams down on Spencer Street. Along with the trams, I'm outnumbered by food delivery riders. This dude was clearly in a rush. Someone's organic, paleo, vegan, gluten-free quinoa hipster burger with the lot must be getting cold. And this delivery guy about to appear on my left needs to learn some basic road rules. Car in front of me turning left, me turning left. And he goes straight through without a care in the world. Maybe he's losing it because he's the one who ordered the organic, paleo, vegan, gluten-free quinoa hipster burger with the lot and it never turned up. But my favourite, wait for it, these riders about to pull up in front of me. I think the guy without the delivery pack was the trainer, and one dude in particular needed training. No way I want to receive a delivery from him. Now I'm on Collins Street, heading along what's locally known as the Paris end of Collins Street. C'est magnifique. so called in part because of the high-end luxury brand shops here. Certainly no tourist dollars walking through those doors at the moment though. Coming up to Tiffany & Co on my right and Tag Heuer on my left. Then further up towards Spring Street, there's Max Mara, Hugo Boss, Emporio Armani, Bulgari, Bottega Veneta, Cartier, Dior, Giorgio Armani, Fendi, Versace, Dolce & Gabbana, Christian Louboutin, Gucci and Louis Vuitton, to name just a few. Fair to say I've never been into any of them. In fact, I had to ask Google how to pronounce most of them. Whenever I walk past them, I can feel the heart rate of my wallet increasing and hear my credit card screaming. From Collins Street, I'm now heading down Little Bourke Street into Chinatown. There's usually plenty of hustle and bustle here, but not today. People have disappeared faster than the last Sui Mai at Yum Cha, or Baijiao at Chinese New Year celebrations, or a cold beer on a hot day, or your cheap mate when it's his shout for beers. I think you get my drift. There are no people here. Normally like this, but thanks to COVID, now like this. The only thing missing are tumbleweeds blowing across the streets. Finally, I made my way to some of Melbourne's laneways to check out some street art, the fancy name for graffiti, which in Melbourne is considered an art form. So that's the Melbourne CBD at the moment, Tumbleweed City. Hopefully it's not too long before things return to normal and the city gets a pulse and is again full of people. I hope you've enjoyed this ride, and if you haven't, well, I'll try harder next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay safe. And remember to wash your hands, and wear your helmet.